What's going on, you guys? Kenny here, also known as SolidFan85. Welcome to another Y and Y Tube. This will be take two. We had to adjust a few things. I'm hanging out with Tuff, whom you guys know is a content creator and a streamer. Some of my community crosses over with his, so I hope you guys enjoy the interview. This is a very casual thing. Obviously, that's why I look like a hobo. But we're hanging out with him for a bit. He's going to answer some questions, be kind of in the spotlight on this whole thing. So a big shout out to him for being a part of this whole project. In recent interviews, these ran from about 20 minutes to about an hour and a half. We've been hanging out with some really cool people. I hope you guys have enjoyed them. But today in the spotlight is Tuff. He is a streamer, content creator, a really good friend of mine over the years. Was a friend of a friend. He was a part of the Phoenix flock for a while. He's kind of done his own thing over the years now and built a hell of a community. Is also obviously notorious for his rants as well. If you guys have never heard this guy rant, it is something to behold. So, but anyway, so how have you been, man? How you doing?
Oh, we're kicking. You know how it is.
Yeah,
I haven't been streaming or doing any content for a while. Kind of ashamed of myself. But we
Eh,
don't have anything at all playing on the television behind us, so
that's good.
no worries there.
He had what you have Harry Potter playing in the background?
Yeah, we had Harry Potter going back there.
Copyright people, you got to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if it shouldn't be a problem to say Harry Potter nowadays. I don't know. You might get in trouble for it. Who knows?
No, I mean, let me turn you up a little bit. Okay, I'm trying to make some audio adjustments so you guys can hear him. I think Harry Pothead is probably the worst thing you can come up with.
Harry Pothead.
Yeah. People hate it when you say Harry Pothead. You know.
It definitely would give out the wrong idea to kids too. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's bad enough teaching them to sit around their house and play with their wand is okay.
Yeah,
The whole
pretty much.
other thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so let me ask you this. Let me go and start this off the traditional way I do with these things. What did you want to be when you grew up?
What did I want? Oh my god!
As a kid.
I had so many things. I wasn't one of those kids. Is like I want to be a fireman or I want to be a space cadet. Well, astronaut. I ended up being a space cadet. I really never had that thing that I was like, I want to do this. I want to be this guy.
Nice.
When I grew up, I guess I kind of wanted to be my dad.
All right.
My dad could do anything he wanted to. One day he could lay block and brick, and the next day he could go out and break a horse. And that's what I always wanted to be. I wanted to be the jack of all trades, so to speak.
There you go. Yeah, and for those that don't know, in a recent interview, I interviewed Athena Bella. Obviously, she is a friend of Tuff's. No, they're together. They're really, really cool couple. Actually, a bit of a power couple here on YouTube for a couple of years. But she's a creator herself. So let me ask you this. Stepping away from the creator title for a bit, or streamer title, however you want to label yourself, what's it like being in a relationship with somebody that does videos and streams?
It's competitive.
Yeah?
It's very competitive. You go from a lot of people, they get into games and they're like, oh, I wish I had a girlfriend that was a gamer. No, it sucks. Let me tell you what, guys. It sucks. You don't want it. You guys will end up at each other's throats all the time because your KD is better than hers or her KD is better than yours. At times when you're doing better than she is, of course, you're like, yeah, I'm a stud. And then when she goes and outdoes you, you're like, oh, I suck. Man, I just got beat by a girl. There's no hiding it either because everybody sees it. They're like, oh, yeah, I saw you. Your girlfriend shot the crap out of you in that game. It's like, yeah, she did.
I'll take your man card now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. But no, I'm just kidding, though. It's actually, it is fun. It drives you to be better.
Yeah.
With the streaming and the content creating, I actually push her to do it more than I do myself. I think she could do better in streaming and content creation than I do because you've seen my stuff. It's just a group of people. We get together. There's no real There's no script. There's no pathway we're
Right.
on. You're not going to turn into one of my videos and be like, so that's how you do that. No, it's my channel has never been about that. It's been just derp a derp, we're going to
Yeah.
go in and what game we playing today? Well, they want farming simulators, so that's what we'll do. We'll drive around in circles all day and talk random stuff, and that's what it is.
Right.
She actually has it better. She's got a series of games that she could teach people how to play.
It's true.
She could Warcraft. I mean,
Yeah.
she was what a decade ahead of me playing that game.
Right.
She could teach people. She's good at it. Overwatch. She's good at it.
Hmm.
Basically anything she's pretty much good at when it comes to gaming. I mean,
She's a badass
yeah,
chick, dude. She really is.
yeah, she is. She kicks my butt every time we attempt to do anything that isn't farming simulator or truck driving related. So yeah,
Well, now that you won over some brownie points with her when she watches this interview, um,
yeah,
um, it's it's funny because when you're dating a gamer girl or if you're involved with a gamer girl, especially like if you're a streamer, um, depending on the girl, and I don't know how Athena is with it, like when y'all first got together, but depending on the girl, you kind of feel a bit like a celebrity, kind of. Especially like if they saw your content before you started dating them, and
oh
they're
yeah.
they're really into the streaming culture, watching video, let's players and all that. Um, it's honestly, it kind of feeds your ego a little bit.
It does, and
Yeah,
especially when you've got more subscribers than they do.
yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit.
it's
Yeah,
so even
yeah.
if I haven't created no content, sub to me. Just keep that number above hers.
Well, and hey,
I'm kidding. That's
hey, who knows? Maybe this interview will help spur people in the comments to be like, "Yeah, man, we miss you. We miss you. We do miss you, though. Seriously, you do some great streams, and I always enjoy them. I definitely try to get in when I can. My life tends to be pretty rampant, but I have really enjoyed your content over the years, and that's where I've really found a really big kinship with you on that. So, kudos.
and we do as a group. We do. I
Hmm.
mean, you put stuff up that I enjoy watching, and vice versa. Granted, the stuff you put up, I kind of enjoy watching more than maybe you might enjoy watch. My stuff, you have to be there. You have to be there when it's happening, or
Yeah,
it's just kind of
yeah,
why am I watching this? I can't be like, hey, tough. This is what. No, you actually have to kind of be there. So it's a at the moment type of thing where the stuff you put up, yeah, you do your live streams, which even throughout your live stream, if you sit and watch what you do, there's something you can kind of take away,
hmm,
and there's something that makes you want to leave a comment in your video.
right,
You know, be it friendly, just hey man, glad to see you're getting this going, or glad, or if it's hey, what you talked about today made me think about what's going on in my life, and I appreciate that.
right.
So kind of a different. I have my moments where I once in a while accidentally give good advice. Not very often. Like you said, it comes in the form of a rant,
Right.
so the message is often missed in
Yeah.
that. So it's one of those things that it's a style, different style. And
Your streams too, obviously mostly gaming. I really haven't seen you do any kind of vlogging or anything, unless I missed it. But the games you play, obviously they're games you enjoy at least for a while. You obviously become burnt out from time to time on a certain title. Um, are there any games that you have yet to stream that you would love to stream at some point?
oh God, yes. Pretty much every game I've been playing lately, World of Warships, World of Warcraft, those I would love to sit down and stream those games or figure out a way to throw up some videos, but
Right.
this is another one of those kind of insecurity things. It's where you start thinking, okay, there's this person who streams and he actually puts out really good stuff.
Right.
He there again, I can take something away from watching that guy's video. Is what I do, is that going to be entertaining type of thing? I just don't think it would be, so I don't do it.
Right. I get you.
And maybe it shouldn't be that way, but the games I stream, if you've noticed, they're kind of games that I kind of can consider myself a little bit of an
Agreed.
authority on.
Yeah.
You know, Farm Sim, I can peel the coding down in that game and rebuild it with my eyes closed.
Right.
World of Warcraft, I'm like, okay, tell me how I do this. You know,
Yeah.
what food am I supposed to eat right
What?
now?
Where am I standing? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's this red stuff underneath me? You should get out of that, Tuff. Okay,
And it's well,
sounds
and
good.
it's one of those games too, because there's obviously with the games you play throughout the years, there's been a lot of modding that you're able to do as well. Um,
Oh yeah.
with games like Farm Sim, I think you've done ATS from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But like with games like World of Warcraft or World of Warships, to my knowledge, there's really not a whole lot of modding you can do. There's really not a modding community um,
No.
that people would tune into your streams for, and that seems to be, again, from my experience with your streams, because you've hit some pretty heavy numbers when it comes to like Farm Sim and ATS. I mean, I think I saw you. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen you top out at 70 to 75 people per stream sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But it's probably been more than that.
We've hit good numbers live streaming, but they're again, like you say, they're modders. They're the type of people that they're like, all right, what did he do to the game now? What's he
Right.
doing to the game now?
Right.
Stuff
Yeah.
that gets you banned from Warcraft.
Yeah. Exactly. It's funny though,
The
because
truth.
as a streamer, there are certain titles that tends to bring out more lurkers than other titles, and ATS and Farm Sim seem to be those types of games. Like there's some engagement in the chat from time to time, but your numbers just tend to stay high. But it's just people watching. There's really not a whole
Yeah.
lot of engagement, unless I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, there again, the engagement more comes from the more people in the chat.
Right.
So if say, and I'm not saying in the stream chat, I'm talking about in the actual like Discord, TeamSpeak,
Right.
whatever voice chat. You have Randy and or you've come in quite a few times and people will converse with you through chat.
Right.
So they will aim messages, and a lot of times, like Randy gets so angry about it because people talk to him through my stream. He's like, "I don't want to watch this stream. I'm in it," and so now he has to load up his stream to talk to these people,
Yeah.
and so that's where it comes from with my channel. It's more the more people that are in there, the more conversation that's going on, kind of the more interest that you develop in talking.
Right.
My viewers, if you've noticed yourself, you've come in and said, "Hey, Tuff," and I haven't even noticed it.
Yeah.
It's because there again, when it gets going and scrolls by, you don't see it, and there's no like, oh yeah, let me go back real quick.
Yeah.
When you're especially ATS is real bad because you're just driving down the road, you're holding onto the steering wheel, you can't
like click
real
out to
quick like,
scroll.
yeah, and
Otherwise, fine.
yeah, exactly. You get Farm Sim, ATS, those kind of games. When you tab out, you're tabbed out. The game screen minimizes. Warcraft isn't that way. Warcraft would be really nice to stream
Mm-hmm.
because you can tab and people still see your screen. So it's
Yeah.
a little different to me.
It is. Well, and that's the that's the genres for you. Like when it comes to the RPGs, especially like MMORPGs, stuff like that. Even games like because you have experience in Arc, and you have experience in games like Atlas. Even those can be pretty demanding. Like when it comes to being able to engage in chat from time to time.
Oh yeah.
So, but on another note, to kind of break away from that, more of an into your life kind of situation. Yeah, exactly. Um, if somebody was to do a movie about you, about your life, what actor would you want or would you hope would play you?
Oh, Danny DeVito. I would totally go for Danny DeVito. He'd have to play me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I could actually, I thought about somebody that could make a great you at some point, but I forget who it was. Oh, Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
Total dude character. Total
Yeah.
dude character. That's like when we first started talking, when we first started hanging out, I kind of got that vibe a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
why do I feel like I'm in a Jeff Bridges movie?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really
The,
cool.
the the funniest thing is, and not to be mean or cruel to anybody, I don't endorse smoking marijuana, but
Yeah.
pot smokers, 9 times out of 10, they will catch me on the street and be like, "Hey man, you got some grass I could buy from you?" Like, no, dude, I don't touch that
Because you
stuff.
got that look, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's a look. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a look. It's an attitude.
They definitely don't do that to me, that's for sure. It's really more like, what's this guy doing out in public?
They're like, "Hey, buddy, you got some of that maple syrup? I know you've been out chopping them trees down."
Exactly. Okay, so on the streaming front, what was your first stream?
My first stream, I remember, I don't know if many people are this way or not, but my very first stream, I remember like it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a nightmare. Um, well, Phoenix
Right,
was going to be gone for Thanksgiving. That was really important to him because at that point in time, he was streaming one night a week,
right.
and that was it. Well, he was upset because he was going to his family's for Thanksgiving and he didn't think he was going to be able to live stream. So me, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll tell you what, just I'll put up a live stream, tell everybody that I'll go ahead and kick up a live stream on my channel. I'll set it all up and get it going. And when you get back, your viewers can just go from my channel to yours and boom, problem solved, right?
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a nightmare. It ended up
right.
being an absolute, my software wouldn't work, my computer was crap. I finally get it running. I just get everything settled in. The jitters. I realized then that everybody was paying attention to me instead of watching Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I have no freaking clue what I'm supposed to say to these people. So it was like a right across the face moment. And I just finally decided to just be myself
Yeah.
and started, chatting along. Next thing you know, Phoenix gets on. He's like, he doesn't say a word to me. He just lets my stream go. And he starts up his own stream. I was like, I heard about it an hour later. And I was like, why didn't you tell me you was live stream? Because I've been waiting for you to start live streaming so I could close this down. He
Right.
says, you could have just asked. He
Yeah,
says,
right.
I thought you was doing so good. You could just keep doing it yourself. I was like, no. And that's how that happened. And I was mad at him for a while about it, but then it got to be kind of fun. So
That's awesome. And like I was saying, I think I actually remember that because I remember talking to Phoenix a little bit, and you're right. There was like, he was a little disappointed that he wasn't going to be able to stream, but he was even more so excited to be with his family on Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Just because it's Thanksgiving, family, and he's a father just like yourself. So yeah, I remember that, and that's crazy. I never realized that was your first stream though. I thought you had done more before that.
No, I had attempted to do videos and things like that. I did do a couple videos, a couple of tutorials.
Right.
Um, Shortly after seeing how bad they was, because for the longest time, I wouldn't go back and watch my own stuff. I still have a hard time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If I do, then I just want to delete it.
Yeah.
One of those things. So,
Been
but
there.
that's what I was doing is I was going and watching. I was like, I shouldn't have said that way. I sound so stupid.
Right.
So then I, of course, delete the whole video and redo it and try to get it exact, only remove, and it just didn't work. So I quit watching my own videos unless somebody points out a real serious problem, like
Yeah.
somebody says something that I don't want in there, type of thing. Otherwise, what you get is what you get. I'm not
Yeah.
going to mess around with it and go back and watch my own stuff because like you had talked in a couple of your videos. This has been a while ago. You brought it up. Putting yourself out there is hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
real hard to do
Yeah.
and hard to get over that mountain. Then when you start, you're your worst critic. You are your very worst critic.
Yep.
If you don't criticize your own stuff, then you're just, you sleep with a picture of yourself above your bed and that's that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, but I'm not that way. I'm very insecure about how I act and how people may perceive what I'm behaving like. So you watch yourself and you're like, oh, that's terrible. I can't believe I said that.
Right.
If I did that, I would never leave a video up, and that would be that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, you're right. There are people that like will sweep with a mirror above their bed and be like, when they wake up, "Hello, beautiful," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which obviously none of us would ever do. But to be a streamer or to be a content creator, when you put yourself out there, what that's helping do is reinforce a little bit of ego for you. It's helping you build some confidence. It's helping you be able to do stupid things sometimes, and to be somewhat, at least, I'm cool with it. You may not be proud of it, but you're cool with doing it. So, and
Well,
that's, yeah,
you get to be yourself.
right, right,
You don't really enjoy, at least I wouldn't enjoy live streaming if I'm like, I got to be this guy. You
right.
know,
You're not wearing
tough.
masks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tough 977 is me.
right.
I joke around the same way in real life. I say the same things I do in real life,
Hmm.
and that's that. I don't have to change who I am.
Right.
So I may go out there and play the games, and I may say some things that are a little on edge, but I'd still say them to the guys I work with, the construction crew or whatever. I'd still say
Yeah.
those things to those people. I may not walk into a room full of, you know,
Strangers.
Bible thumpers or
Yeah.
anything like that and be like, hey, what's going on? I wouldn't be that way, but I just try to be myself.
I mean,
If I can't,
you wouldn't walk into a service and just be like, "Hey, did y'all see the new Harley Quinn in Arkham Knight? Man, she's got a nice
yeah,
ass, huh?" Like just straight
exactly.
up. But yeah, it's so. But yeah, it's. I mean, that's what streaming's about, and like like you mentioned, and I've said it before. It really does help, and even I've met multiple streamers that have attested to that. I mean, Phoenix, Lady, numerous others, and I've even got a couple of viewers of mine that jumped into streaming, and they've said that it's helped them build their confidence a little bit as well. So it's crazy, and I'm with you. I mean, and you know this, but I'll preach it from the highest mountain. If you are the kind of streamer that you can be yourself and you're not putting on a ploy or a character, just to get views and subs and maybe even a little bit of money, you're being honest, and people will recognize that. A lot of people may not like it because you may be bland as hell, but it's you. It's who you are. So that's one of the
Exactly.
best things about it. Um, so do you have, like, throughout your time of doing streams and doing content, do you have a stream or video that always comes to mind as probably one of your favorites, like, of all time?
Uh, that strikes kind of a little bit of a nerve. Yeah, I do.
Favorite,
It was
favorite.
it was the very first stream that I done with kind of the whole quote unquote family,
Oh, okay.
Phoenix was there.
Right.
Phoenix was there. All the old guys. I don't want to sit there and go through all those names
Nah,
because,
it's
quite
fine.
frankly, a
Yeah.
few of them break on a tear or two because we're no longer that group.
Right.
But um, there's no problems between Phoenix and I. There
Right.
never will be. I love the guy like a brother. Will do till the day I die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I'm so glad to see him, but I do miss our little group being what it was,
Right.
and that was my very favorite stream because it was a laugh a minute. We were just hanging out, having fun, being ourselves. Phoenix was giving me endless rafts of crap for live streaming.
Yeah.
It's good though. It was really good to me. It was a really good stream.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I'm a collab. I have to have lots of different people with me. It's
Right. You feed off that energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
you do. It's great that way because there's no stale moments. I hate that. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
I hate that staleness. I like to have everything just kind of rolling and one thing progressing the other. And you
Mm-hmm.
might sit there and be like, God, should I end the stream right now? Is he gonna keep talking or what? But
Yeah.
the payoff is way worth it. It's worth it.
It is, and it really is great, and that's from a personal standpoint, I mean, I've had people tell me, why don't you hang out with people like you used to? But when you got a group stream going like you do, like Phoenix does, like I've seen Tyler do them. I've seen some even folks that aren't even affiliated with y'all, people that I watch. They have their groups they hang out with, and it's not like a lone quest to get a stream done. It's literally just people hanging out having fun. Um, one thing you learn when you connect with streamers and you network with them is that stuff's gonna happen, but they're some of the best damn friends you can ever have. And it's sad to see certain things happen. It really is. But at the same time, in the background, there's always respect for one another. There's always a bit of a kinship there, knowing that they're kind of going through the same thing that you went through, that you're going to go through. And that's what I've always loved about hanging out with y'all, all the people I hang out with and affiliate with. It's just such a feeling of eventually whatever may happen, you guys are still going to be who you are, So
Exactly.
yeah. So if that makes sense, I kind of go into these things sometimes where it's just like, what the hell is he talking about,
No, I totally agree with what you're saying. And, there's a lot of people that sit there and say, well, how can you develop an online friendship?
Right.
That's really a touchy one to me because I'll tell you what, online friendships aren't like real life friendships.
Mm-mm.
You can't build them the same way that you would somebody that lives across the street.
Right.
Somebody that lives across the street, you know, there may be a, hey, you bailed my butt out once, so we're friends, right?
Right.
You loaned me a cup of sugar when I was making a cake. And online friendships aren't that way. There's no quick way to build. They just build over time. You develop a quote unquote fondness
Mm-hmm.
for that person, and it gets to the point where when they're no longer hanging around or when they're gone for a short period of time, you miss them.
Right.
And in a gut wrenching manner. It's not just oh they're gone, maybe they'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's actually you sit there and be like, where are they? I can't get a hold of this person and I'm really worried.
Right.
What the hell's going on type of thing.
Right.
And to have that ripped out of your life is pretty rough. It's rougher as far as I'm concerned than maybe if one of your real life friends were to disappear.
No, I agree. Well, and because you've got that mental equivalent, because humanity, we're built to socialize in person. That's what we've been
Yeah.
through throughout history. But now we've got the internet, and we've got these online interactions. We kind of fool our brains into thinking that this person's kind of there physically, so it has that mentality. And so if you can't see them and you can't talk with them physically, but you can only talk with them in voice or in video like we are now,
Yeah.
it kind of it tricks you mentally, because it makes your brain think, okay, well they're in the standard friendship mode that I'm biologically programmed to accept, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying with that?
Exactly.
It
And
messes with you.
it
So
does. It does real bad. And that's when you was going through some of your problems, I don't want to
mhm.
go too deep into that.
No.
You do you, and I'm just here to talk to you about it in private. But
Right.
I felt, I'm like, God, I want to do something more for this guy. I feel so bad because there's not much I can do except for be like, hey, buddy, if you need to talk, I'm right here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that to me, I think that is the striking thing. Your online friends, more often than not, will sit there and listen when you're having a tough time, as to where your friends that live across the street, they're gonna be like, oh, he's having a bad day. I'm gonna go down to the pool hall or something. I don't want to deal
Right.
with this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean, there is. It does feel like when it's physically involved, and you're there in person, it can feel heavier than it would just chatting online. Just in my personal
yeah,
experience, so it's
yeah,
gonna it's gonna weigh heavier. Thereby, even really good friends they're gonna have days where it's just like, man, I feel for him. I really want to talk to him, but it's too much right now. You know, that kind of thing. But again, in my experience, the online stuff, the chats, the everything, even if it's just in text or in voice, it's a lot easier to deal with in regard to that. And even with the stuff I went through, you guys were there for me. Countless people, you guys sent me messages, you checked on me, everything. And it meant the world just to be able to look back at text and messages and emails and DMs on Twitter, and they were there in a physical history,
Yeah.
saying just as a reminder that these people care for me, kind of thing. So yeah, it's
Well,
crazy.
that's kind of the thing. It's the gift that keeps giving, I guess is the best way to call it.
Right,
If that friend isn't around and you're having a bad day, you can go back and look at those messages, and that kind of carries you through to the next time you see them.
right.
It's it's kind of enabling you. The same conversation can enable you to maybe get over something that was really tough to do in the first place.
Hmm.
When my dad passed, oh, I went into the deepest, darkest hole of depression I've ever been in my life. It just, and not because my friends were all there. You guys, even Phoenix reached out and he's like, "Hey, sorry to hear about your dad. If there's anything, if you want to talk, I wasn't there to see it when it came in. I, of course, would get on 5 minutes at a time just to make sure that, everything was up to date and still working. And then you get on and you'd be like, what am I doing here? I don't want to be online. I just want to get off.
Right,
So you do that, and literally seeing those messages kept pouring in from all of my online friends. It's probably the only thing that carried me through that. My dad was my very best friend in the world. He was kind of that built in, that inherit a buddy. A
right,
lot of people don't have the greatest relationship with their dad,
right,
and it's so sad that they don't, because I feel very fortunate. I feel kind of like that rich kid standing in a room full of poor kids, because I had a father who may not have been the greatest father in a lot of aspects of life,
mm,
but his friendship with me was, very as superior to anyone else's. I mean,
yeah,
if I was having a bad day, he was right on it. He was that first phone call. He could almost sense that I was having a bad day.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
we're that close.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
just it was like I said. I felt I've got a few friends who have really bad relationships with their fathers, and they all tell me the same thing, and I couldn't imagine what that life would be.
yeah,
I just couldn't, not
right,
not in any way, because I'm the opposite. That was the only friend I've ever known in my life
right.
that was 100% always there, dependable, you know.
Yeah. There's
So
a
yeah.
I can speak from experience though that there are friends of yours that envy you that as well. You know, um,
Oh yeah.
I won't get into my personal thing on it, but
Hmm.
yeah, I can speak from experience. That is it has got to be one of the greatest things, especially when your father was your role model growing up, your friend growing up, person you can talk to, person you can relate to, and, there. And so that's anybody that has that that is a total freaking treasure. So I definitely agree with you on that. And
Yeah.
it's always made me feel better knowing that there are people out there that get to experience that because it does make a big difference.
Yeah, and seeing how bad it affects others,
Hmm.
it makes me feel more fortunate. It
Yeah.
really does. I don't know if it's one of those things that I kind of used to take for granted.
Right.
I thought everybody. I was like, what the hell, man. So my dad whooped my ass. Let's. When I got in trouble, I'd get a whooping. I deserved it though. I mean, but he's still my friend afterwards.
Right.
You hear a lot of guys talk about it. Uh, one of my buddies that I actually used to rodeo with, he would sit there and tell me things that his dad would do. Some of the ways that his dad would treat him, and like, damn,
Yeah.
you do something. A good accomplishment was nothing.
Right.
There was no attaboys or that's my son, or I couldn't imagine what life would be like that way. I just couldn't. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel more fortunate than others that way, and I guess I just hope that some people get to experience that a little better than what they have in past. I don't know.
That is one thing I can say about my own father, is that he did give that to me. I was a child of divorce at 5. I have other siblings and stuff, so he had his time was split all over the place. He was all over the place when
Hmm.
I was growing up, but he was there when I needed him, most of the time, and he gave me, like you said, the attaboy, and I'm proud of you, that whole thing. So there was some reinforcement there. So
Hmm.
in your regard, in the same way of mine, I do regard that as a treasure, because there comes a time, just like with your father passing. I come to face it personally. There's going to come a time when this man's not around anymore, and it's it's time that you can't get back. So
Yeah.
it can be really really heavy. So it's I really appreciate whenever you share your experiences with your father, because it does represent something that's very valuable to you, and it's really cool to hear it. So it's just really cool. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. Yeah, I
um,
hear you.
Let me ask you this, because I know obviously you have kids of your own. Um, what's a what's a perfect afternoon to you? Or I'm guessing they would be included in that. But what is, like, as a family, what's the perfect afternoon to you? Not streaming, not recording, no video games, just your life.
You know, Athena and I go back and forth about this quite a bit. But for me, no electronics at all, nothing.
There you go.
Just hearing the kids playing in the background.
Right.
Uh, that is so great. I don't know how many of you have actually sat and listened to kids playing,
Hmm.
especially when a brother and sister that are, just a couple years apart from one another, when they're getting along in the other room together and they're behaving, that's a little slice of heaven right there. Just to see the two of them interacting and the older one teaching the younger one stuff is so adorable.
Yeah.
It's like kind of a little shot in your arm, kind of be like, this is what you're doing. This is kind of your thing. This is something you've created.
Right. This is something that'll
Well,
be here once you pass on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of my legacy.
Yeah.
Those two, of course, they want me to make sure that they get YouTube accounts set up so they can live stream. Um, I don't know how that's going to work out. I think my daughter's going to be more obnoxious than I am.
it's 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 crazy. That actually leads me to one of my questions. I've in recent interviews I've asked this, and it's off and on no or yes, depending on the person. But would you, or do you, let your kids watch your content?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Even the horrible stuff that's got all the foul words in that I'm completely ashamed of.
Right.
I just make sure I, give them the same message. Their children are gonna see the bad things in life.
Right.
You got two choices. You either completely shelter them from it
Hmm.
until their 18th birthday, then you boot their butts out on the curb or out to college, whichever you do, and the world slaps them in the face. They are unprepared.
Right. I agree.
Or you teach them one little step at a time.
Right.
And as they go, you feel they're mature enough to hear a little foul language, by all means, let them hear it. Just make sure that you reinforce to them, hey, you don't behave this way.
Right.
This is something that you need to know is out there, but you yourself don't want to behave this way. This is the way not to be.
It,
And that's the way I treat them. I mean, my little girl, she's able to watch all of my YouTube videos. My little boy Joe, he's in there watching Markiplier and
nice.
yeah, Markiplier gets more of my son's view time than I do. I'm kind of hurt.
He's got to do
And
with you in
and
real life, though, man.
yeah,
You know.
but exactly. But yeah, Joe, he's allowed to watch Markiplier, Jacksepticeye.
Hmm.
Um, he watches both of those and quite a few other YouTubers. In fact, my son won't even watch regular TV. He's like, "What's that crap?"
Right. Yeah, we're definitely moving into that age. I mean, as streaming has become more popular. I mean, Twitch alone is saturated with streamers and content, not just gaming. I mean, their forefront is going into. I watch a lot of like woodworking, just chatting, like IRL stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So
What is with this ASMR stuff?
you went there.
I
No,
I had to. My daughter watches that at night.
so that means basically it's really and people will debate me on this, but it means that, dude, honestly, she's probably really creative. It's been linked scientifically to a certain part of the brain that is stimulated with um, what's called tingles, not in like any kind of adult way, but just
No,
relaxing, very comforting.
stimulants,
Right, right,
mental stimulation. Yeah,
exactly.
I
It's crazy. It's weird.
I can't. I tried watching some of that because my daughter's there again. When I say I let my little girl watch whatever she wants, I also go back and proof what she's watching just
Hmm.
to make sure that she's not. Some things I can guide her that way. I can be like, hey,
Right,
this is okay and this is not.
right.
But I started watching something. I was like, the hell.
Yeah. Some
It's
of it,
2 hours of crumpling paper.
yeah, some of it can get pretty weird too. I mean, there are some creators like a few years ago that were all it was cotton swabs in the ear. That's all it was, and people get tingly because of that. Me
Yeah,
personally, it's more about accents, the way people talk, Indian accents, Japanese accents, especially like in the female form.
yeah.
It's very comforting. It's weird. And a lot of there's been some of the research, some of the newer research in it. Some believe that it's linked to a lack of social engagement because you're more inside than out, not really communicating with fellow human beings, and so your brain is kind of starved for that. So in order to comfort itself, you're drawn to videos like that or sounds like that. You know, so there's a lot going on to it, but ASMR, I'll admit to falling to sleep to more than a few ASMR videos, especially like old photos. It's weird, man. It's weird,
Yeah,
but
it's I never I don't understand. I mean, one video, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to these poor people. I would never want to
yeah,
belittle them. But this one lady, we'll go that far. This one lady that was doing it, she's like all dressed up as a nurse or something, I can't remember. And she was whispering the
yeah,
whole time.
yeah,
And I'm thinking, you know what? This is sending the wrong message. And if anybody were to walk in here and watch me listening and watching this, they would seriously think that I needed to check up from the neck up because,
yeah.
it's borderline pornography right there. But it was.
Yeah, and that is definitely a thing. There is especially in the ASMR community, content creators that show too much cleavage or that are always bent over at the mic and just kind of talking in more of a sultry voice than a soft voice.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people they tend to get a lot of dislikes because of that, because again it is more of a portrayal of like less nudity but more of the Cinemax kind of feel of softcore porn kind of thing.
Got you. So basically that's taking the same hit that like gamers are taking
Yeah.
from the
Hmm.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
makes sense.
Female
What was
gamers that show too much cleavage. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What was your question you was going to ask before I so rudely interrupted with ASMR?
No, that's I mean that was pretty much related. I mean, I was basically going to ask, you've done a lot of gaming, but again, to my knowledge, I don't think you've ever done any other type of stream or video. And I was just going to confirm that, or if there's something that maybe we didn't know.
No, I really wanted to, in fact, I still want to get into sort of a podcast
Hmm.
and an actual podcast. I'm not talking a group full of yes men,
Right.
an actual group of different minds
Hmm.
and maybe different opinions, things like that. And just thumb over the day's news
That's a cool
and
idea.
and pick out, several articles that and then not really the problem with this is hatred.
Yeah.
There's so much hatred in the news and the media, and we don't even want to go into politics because politics takes all that misinformation that the news media is throwing out there, they ball it up and they twist it around even more and they throw it back out and generate even more anger.
Yeah, agreed. There's a lot of rage flying around, and it
Oh,
tends.
it's terrible.
The bad part is that most of that stuff that people are raging over isn't even the truth. It's just manipulated in such a way to get you to feel hatred towards certain things and to feed their numbers so that they get more money.
Yeah,
You know.
it's to push your agenda
Exactly.
instead of truth paving the way. It's let's see if we can fearmonger these people. And
Yes.
but that's something I would like to do. And like everybody says, well, if you get into straight up doing articles and news and stuff like that, then you're going to do politics.
Eventually. Yeah. I mean, it will
And
eventually come up.
but yeah, maybe you could skirt the edges and just pull out, a bridge collapsed or something like that.
Yeah,
Stories like that,
that's
or
true.
dog caught in those sort of stories.
The feel good
But I
stories.
seriously would like, yeah,
Yeah.
I would really like to get into doing that sort of stuff. And the problem is, there again, if you're going to do that, it almost has to be same time, the same day of the week,
Yep.
on schedule.
Yeah.
And getting a group to do that is just it'd be next to impossible. We
Yeah.
all have real lives too.
Exactly. I mean, speaking as a guild master, it's hard enough getting people together for dungeons or battlegrounds or something in Warcraft, but just getting together and talk, I don't know, that might be a little easier, I guess. Um, but the podcast is a really cool idea, actually, and I could see you doing really well with that if you could ever get it going. So,
It'd be fun. I think it would be absolutely just fun.
mhm.
And we'll have to kick it around, maybe talk one of the others into doing it with just two people, and then just take rotators that come in and out and on
Cool.
a week to week basis type thing.
Well, if I can never
But
find the time, I'd be happy to be on at some point. That'd be
oh, it'd be
pretty awesome.
great.
Yeah.
And there again, as opposed to doing like a lot of these podcasts do, they have a little newsy background. I
Mm.
wouldn't want that. I just throw gameplay up in the background,
Yeah.
old warships videos or something.
Yeah. There you go.
Just something to keep it
Have
from
some
being so flaccid.
have some gaming candy in the background kind of thing, and
Yeah.
and you can even talk about the gaming news and stuff like that, kind of mix it up a bit, and have on
Exactly.
special guests, and Rogan, Joe Rogan has totally started a bit of a really movement towards podcasting. The dude is
Yeah.
just, there have been other people, but Joe Rogan, in my mind, is a guy that has just really pushed it out there. And he's even had on so many guests. He doesn't, like, especially when it comes to, matters of society, politics, whatever. He's well rounded in that regard. He
Yeah.
has on everybody.
Yeah.
And he makes such a great interviewer. Aside from constantly talking, you ever done weed? That kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it's fantastic, and honestly, this is kind of the inspiration for this project here on the channel. So,
Yeah.
but I really wanted to put people in the spotlight, so here we are.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Just a couple more questions. Obviously, there's Athena. There's a lot of people you hang out with online. There's your kids. I know you have real life friends as well. Out of everybody, and this may be a bit of a trap question, but out of everybody, who is the funniest person in your circle?
Who is the funniest person? Gosh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's a very tough one. I mean, because people are funny in their different ways. I would have to say, out of everybody that I know in my circle, I would have to say it's Randy. Randy would be about the only one I got left that I could pick.
Randy's a trip.
He is obnoxious funny.
Mm-hmm.
Randy is just, sometimes he is so obnoxious it's like, I don't know, but damn, it's funny. He
Yeah,
says the things that you don't want, or that you want to, that you don't feel you're able to.
yeah, I agree. He's a total trip, man, and
So
an
I would
avid
have to.
viewer as well.
Oh, yeah. If any one of us,
Hmm.
uh, have a video going, he's damn sure watched it or going to watch it. It's
Hmm. Exactly.
devoted friend.
He is.
He freaking. I the type of guy that if you sat there and said, "Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. I ain't got a $20 bill to my name, and I gotta buy groceries tonight." I guarantee you, if he had the money, he would send it to you. He would, just that kind of guy. If you needed help, he would be there
Hmm.
and help in any way he possibly could.
And now we'll be giving out Randy's email. No.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I actually I gotta say,
Randy Yetter. Oh,
in regards to Mr. Yetter, I'm pretty impressed with you and Athena because you guys got this guy to play World of Warcraft, and as long as I've known Randy and as long as I've associated with Randy, I did not see him at all at any point in his existence getting into World of Warcraft. Just say it.
well, you know what was the final thing that got him to come over to Warcraft, right?
What?
It was the fact that you could play as an elf
Okay.
and create a female character. That was the
Yeah.
thing that just made him, it blew his mind then
I
when he
mean,
found out that you could be a hunter or you could be a druid or
right.
but then he falls in love with a death knight. I can't figure that one out.
Cold heart. No.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
he's got such a warm heart, man. It's crazy.
he
But
does. He
so
won't admit it though.
one last question, and this is a bit of a brainchild between Athena and I. It was originally her idea, um, but
Oh
I've
dear
been
God.
using it. And, no. It's not just in regards to you. She's actually helped the
Oh,
project here a
okay.
little bit. So, have you ever caught yourself using a catchphrase in your streams or your videos?
Yes, I have actually a couple of times
Interesting.
and tried stopping myself. You ever tried stopping yourself from doing something that you don't even want to do in the first place? It's
Yeah,
kind of a pain.
yeah, it is.
Well, RoboCop.
Okay.
You've seen RoboCop. Okay, the very first one. You remember that ad with the guy wearing the big guy wearing the cowboy hat and got the Cadillacs and stuff like that.
Vaguely.
And he's like, "I'll buy that for $1." He says with a big old cigar in his mouth.
Yeah.
I've said that a few times on my streams, and I'm like, why did I
Buy
do
that
that?
for $1.
I just totally dated myself right there. Everybody knows that I'm older than the dirt now.
Right. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, and again, she brought that up. I thought it was a great question. It really is. So,
Yeah.
um, one last one. What has been your longest stream that you've ever done?
My longest stream.
Yeah,
We made it 24 hours at once, didn't we?
I think so. I
That was my
remember.
longest.
Yeah. In a related note, I've thanked you a couple of times over the years, but you were one of the primary people that helped keep me going in the 31-hour World of Warcraft stream that I did.
Oh yeah.
You guys helped me a lot. Not yeah, there was you, but there was a few other people. But um, so you've really helped me over the years. I can't thank you enough as a friend, as a viewer, as a confidant. We've had our personal chats and everything, and along with that, I also wanted to thank you for again being a part of this project and this extended interview because it's been fantastic. So, and you've been fantastic over the years. You're a great pal.
Well, you too, brother.
I can never thank you enough, man. Seriously,
Same here, man.
bro
And
fist.
I enjoy it. Yeah, bro fist, right?
Yeah.
I'd hit my camera, but I'd knock it over, and
Oh, come here.
I just your viewers already see my shady face and all that. They don't need to see my nose hairs or anything like that. But
You do need to let that grow out a little bit. Just saying.
my hair's got long as crap. I haven't cut it since my dad passed.
I mean, you have hair at least. I mean, like, come on, man.
I I don't like it.
What?
Ask Athena. I kid you not. I want to cut it off on the daily. Well, it's
Yeah,
in a ponytail right now. I
I
mean,
got you. Could be worse. Could be a man bun.
but
You know.
in the front, I mean, I put it down. It's like down below my chin.
Yeah.
I look like cousin It when I get out of the shower.
Dang.
And she's like, "Oh, don't cut it off. It looks so pretty." I was like,
Locks.
"I hate hair." You know,
Locks.
wait till you're working on a job site when you're trying to wire a light fixture in and all your hair falls down in front of your
Oh,
face. You're sitting there going, trying to twist wire nuts together while getting buzzed the whole time from the electricity. You're just like, you know
damn.
what? I give up. So
I don't know. I don't know what that feels like, man. I have no idea. But
it sucks.
well, listen. Before we close out, is there anything extra you want to add? Any tip you want to give? Just anything at all?
My tip to you would be to put something going in the background. Try to keep your poor viewers awake through this whole thing.
Right.
I hope they at least watch half of the video before they, close it and say, "Oh my God, that Tuff is annoying."
Nah, man. This has been a great interview. Seriously. And again, thank you for being a part of it.
Enjoy it, brother.
I really appreciate it. But listen, you guys, we're going to go ahead and close out with Tuff. But thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Links to his channel and his streams will be down below. Be sure to check him out. He may, pick it back up at some point. No pressure on that. He may get a few emails after this whole thing. You never know. But he has been a great friend and again a great confidant over the years. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. For now, I'll say salute. And remember, you're awesome. Never let the world tell you otherwise. Peace.